Hello and welcome to JoyConCast episode 24. I'm your host Nicholas, and this week there's quite a bit of Nintendo Switch news, from sales figures over the course of Black Friday to a big update to Super Mario Maker 2 and more. There's quite a bit of news this week regarding Nintendo Switch that I want to go over. Earlier this week, I did my review of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. That went up earlier this week, I believe on Sunday. It did go up pretty late due to recording schedule problems. I was not able to get it up the week that I wanted to, but it is up nonetheless. So that's now available. All in all, still playing Pokemon and still loving it. I'm still having an absolute blast with it. I'm well over 100 hours now, close to like 120, 130 hours, and I've really been enjoying it. Speaking of Pokemon, real quick, right now, for the month of December, there's actually a special raid event going on for a Gigmax Snorlax, and this is pretty cool because in my review on Sunday when that went up, that's actually one of the things that I wanted Game Freak or the Pokemon Company to do, was limited time events, or cycle in and out different raid events. I thought that would be a very cool way to get people back into the game and just introduce new Pokemon into the raids, give people a chance to catch maybe some rare Pokemon in the raids. So it's cool that that's actually happening. I think that was announced on Saturday. So it was announced after I did the recording, but it's cool now that that's something that's happening. So I actually caught my first Snorlax in a raid. I'm going to be doing that pretty much throughout the month. It's kind of hard to find them. If you open up the Weeeeeelcome and load new stamps and try to find people seeking participants for that raid, you might have a better chance. I have not found one in any of the dens, and I hit up a lot in the past couple days. So yeah, I'm having fun with that, though. That raid idea is really, really cool, and it's something I wanted, and I'm glad to see that it's being implemented. So hopefully this is done more in Sword and Shield. There were some people online complaining about it being a limited time thing, but it's running for a whole month. And yeah, it has been fairly difficult to find them, but like I said, it's running for a whole month, and I found one not too long after the raid started to go live, after the event went live. It was pretty quick, I'd have to say. So it really shouldn't take too long to at least get a handful of these Snorlax. So I'm hoping to get a good Ivy one that I can use for Wi-Fi or start breeding with. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that real quick. It's pretty cool that that's being implemented, and that's something I really, really wanted to see in these games. So I'm glad to see that. Moving forward, Black Friday and Cyber Monday are now over. It's crazy how quickly that whole weekend went by, but they are now over, and the Switch and Switch Lite sold really well over the course of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And no surprise, really. No surprise. The Switch, as of right now, especially the Switch Lite, are the newest consoles on the block, right? And with new PlayStation and Xbox hardware on the way, it is not a surprise that the Switch is selling better than those consoles. I mean, I know I sound like a broken record. I've been saying this for weeks now. Yeah, the Switch is going to continue to sell better. It has a long life ahead of it, while Xbox and PlayStation are going to get replaced within the next year. So yeah, there were some pretty decent deals on the PlayStation 4 Slim and the PlayStation 4 Pro that were pretty tempting for those that want to jump into the PS4 library. But still, I mean, you might as well just wait 1 year. New PlayStation, new Xbox are on the way. I don't know if it's confirmed that PlayStation 5 will have backwards compatibility. That I'm not sure. But if it is the case, then you're really not going to miss out on anything. PS4 games might be able to be played on PS5, so you might as well just wait. You might as well just wait for the new hardware. But either way, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. So it looks like the Switch and the Switch Lite sold more than 830,000 systems over the weekend. Over the weekend as well as Monday, which means that this was the best Cyber Monday for Nintendo Switch. Which, again, isn't much of a surprise, but still, it's crazy how many systems actually sold over that weekend. So, it looks like there's predictions that this will be the best-selling hardware this year. And, again, no surprise there. The Switch is new. It's newer than these other systems. It's going to last longer than these other systems. Not really a surprise. But it is kind of interesting. There really wasn't any great -1. There really wasn't any like fantastic sales or deals for the Switch. There was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle that we saw for $2.99, which was the Nintendo Switch and a free copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's the same exact bundle we saw last year for Black Friday. So it was the original Switch, not the new one, not the V2. It was the older one with the less battery life compared to the newer ones, which, in all honesty, isn't the best. It was obviously just Nintendo shoveling away the rest of that stock. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it in 2019 going into 2020. You might as well pick up the red box Switch. You get that enhanced chipset and that much longer battery life. There was a pretty good Walmart deal. For $2.99, you got a Nintendo Switch V2 with the Mario Red Joy-Con, a $20 eShop credit, and a carrying case. For $2.99, that's a pretty good deal. That one was probably the best one I saw. You didn't get a free game with it, but you do get the exclusive Mario Joy-Con, which I don't think have been available in the States since Mario Odyssey. I believe those were a Walmart exclusive back then as well. I think now you have to import them from Japan. But you got the red Mario Red Joy-Con, which are pretty hard to find. I think you can only import them. And then, of course, the V2 Switch. There's no free game, but still, I think that was a much better deal. Unless you really want a free game to go with it, but I think that was the much better deal. But other than that, I haven't really seen any other great deals. I think there was one on Amazon for a $2.99 Switch, and you got like a $20 or $25 Amazon gift card. Not the best, but same thing with the Switch Lite. I don't believe there's like any sales whatsoever on the Switch Lite, which is understandable. It's fairly new. It just came out, like 4 months ago, so definitely understandable. But yeah, the fact that there wasn't really any big sale or discount, and yet it still sold as well as it did, and it still sold much better than other consoles. Still impressive on Nintendo's part. But moving forward, we have some more sales figures. So, Pokemon Sword and Shield have now sold over 3 million copies in America alone since the launch. And this is making it the best-selling, or the fast-selling, not the best-selling, but the fastest-selling Switch game, which I believe was recently held by Smash Bros. This game is doing really well. This is doing really, really well. It's outperforming Sun and Moon, as well as Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. It's selling incredibly well. It's sold more than 6 million copies worldwide, and is the highest earning launch of any Pokemon game ever. It is doing incredibly well. Now, this I don't think is all that surprising, as these are brand new Pokemon titles. They're the first Pokemon games on the Switch, and I think Nintendo, I don't know if it was kind of clever waiting to put a Pokemon game on the Switch, but Nintendo definitely was able to sell the Switch, get an audience around different games. There's a lot of people who play Pokemon and only Pokemon. There's some people who buy 3DS for just Pokemon, or they'll buy a Switch for just Pokemon. But I think it was clever on Nintendo's part to release the Switch. And obviously, at some point, Pokemon will come to the system. So a lot of people hopped on the Switch to play Pokemon. And there are a lot of games between 2017 and now for people to enjoy. Mario games, platformers, shooters, RPGs, puzzle games, strategy games, whatever. And this accumulated a larger audience towards the platform. Give it a couple years, then drop Pokemon, which is a household name. Even though there was controversy, people are still going to give it a try because it's Pokemon. And most people don't know about the controversy. And there you go. You have a great selling game on your hands. And I think with how well the Switch is doing and how many great games are on the system, I think Nintendo can turn a lot of the Pokemon-only players into playing other games outside of the Pokemon franchise. Like I said, there's people who buy these systems just to play Pokemon. I think Nintendo has a really good chance at expanding these players' libraries with more games than just Pokemon, with how diverse the Switch library is. But all in all, it's been selling really, really well, and I'm glad it is. It's a great game. It really is a great game. Like I said in my review, I haven't had this much fun since X and Y. It feels like a brand new Pokemon game all over again. I did not care so much for Sun and Moon. I didn't really. I mean, I liked them. I liked the new Pokemon, but these games just feel. I don't know. They just feel better. They feel fresher, in my opinion. I really like them more. I think it's well deserved. I think the games are incredible. I think they're fun, and this goes to show that the quality doesn't really matter for Pokemon games. And I talked about this in my review as well, that, the games do feel a little rushed, but the Game Freak probably has a very strict deadline to get the game finished. And we just saw a Pokemon game last year from Game Freak. And while there's no excuse for a poorly made game, it's a reason why it might feel a little rushed or sloppy at parts, or at points in the game. And I don't think it's that bad. I really don't. It's fun. It's well polished in most of the game. The wild area could use some love. The trees do look a little rough. Frame rate's a little rough. But other than that, the game is exceptional, and I'm glad that it's selling as well as it does. And regarding the controversy, I know there are some people who are straight up boycotting the game. That is a very small handful of people. I bet out of the 6 million copies that are out in the world, you also have to accommodate, there are people who buy both versions as well. So you do have to accommodate for that. But out of those 6 million people, I doubt, I don't know, I don't want to give a crazy number here, but I doubt most of those copies are bought by people who know about the controversy. I think it's something that lives on in the internet, and even then, not even everybody on the internet understands why they should be mad at the game. So I don't think that, I don't think the Dexit problem was going to put any dent into the sales, because most people don't know, and the people who do know most likely don't care. So all in all, it's a really great game. I'm having a blast with it. I'm glad to see it selling so well. It's not great. It's Pokemon. Pokemon's going to sell. I mean, it's the same thing every year. Pokemon continues to sell really well because it's Pokemon. It's going to sell. Especially with the Switch Lite now being a handheld-only Switch, I'm sure that played a big role into it. I'm sure a lot of Switch Lites were sold around the week or the month of Pokemon's launch, because Pokemon is primarily a handheld game, with the Switch Lite being a handheld system. I'm sure those two went 2 and 2 together. So it was very smart on Nintendo's part to release them very close together. Moving forward, something I believe I talked about earlier on this show was that the Switch was coming to China. And that is true. Tencent will start selling Nintendo Switch systems in China next week, which is the first time that Nintendo's flagship product will be distributed officially in China, I believe, if my sources are correct. And I believe it's actually December 10th is the exact date. So This Wednesday, Tencent said the Switch would go on sale for 2099 yuan, which is $300 USD, along with the new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which is an odd game. That's a port of the Wii U game. It's very weird that that's the game that's chosen. But other titles will be available later this year as well. Very weird to go with Super Mario Bros. Deluxe or Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. So, from what I've read, it's funny because China is like one of the biggest markets for mobile gaming, right? But hardware, dedicated hardware like PlayStation and Xbox, they don't sell all that well in China. So I'm interested to see how Nintendo Switch, which is a handheld system, sells. China takes up a large demographic of in-game microtransactions, mobile gaming, money spent, stuff like that. Like, they love the mobile games, right? And because of that, other dedicated hardware doesn't sell as well over in China. But I think there might be a chance for Switch. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a dedicated platform for gaming. I don't know how China's going to react to that. But it's definitely interesting. It's great to see that it's finally happening. I think I talked about this earlier this year. Back when that was rumored, or there was the announcement of it, but there was no information. So I'm interested to see how that turns out for Nintendo and for China, because, like I said, they spend the money in the video games, but not on the dedicated hardware. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. But I thought that was interesting. That came out this Wednesday. I don't think there's any other. I think there's a little bit of other information, but that was kind of the bullet points of it. So December 10th is the day, I believe. But moving forward, there is now a Nintendo Switch version update, or software update, I should say, version 9.1.0. And this doesn't change too much. It's general system stability, as always. But this does fix an issue with the Joy-Con that I've noticed, that I thought Nintendo, yeah, it works. I'm so happy. I thought they, patched this out. So you've always been able to detach your Joy-Con, and then the color would appear on the side of the system. So if you have, I have an orange Joy-Con right now, I would slide it on, and it's orange. If you have blue, and you slide it on or off, a little blue line will appear. For the longest time, it was gray. And I thought my Joy-Con were, broke, or they were assigned the wrong color after a software update, but I noticed all of them did it. And I thought it was something Nintendo, fixed or just removed. And it's such a small, subtle thing, but it was kind of cool. It made the Switch feel a little more lively, right? When your Joy-Con color is actually appearing on the side of the system. It was cool. It was a cool little feature. But for the longest time, it was removed. It didn't work. Now with the system update, it's back, which I think is kind of cool. It's a little thing, but I missed it. I mean, it was kind of boring just seeing the gray Joy-Con slide on. So if you have gray Joy-Con, nothing really changed. But if you have colorful Joy-Con, that's back. And I'm glad it is. So, yeah, I thought maybe it was a design choice at first. I thought it was Nintendo deciding that let's remove it. But nope, it looks like it was a mistake. So that issue has now been resolved, which is great. Moving forward, on December 12th, we will have some new Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo Entertainment System games if you are a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber. So 6 new games will be added to the collection. For NES, we have Journey to Silas and Crystallis. I've never heard of these games, but they're coming. And for Super NES, we have Star Fox 2, Super Punch-Out, Kirby Superstar, and Breath of Fire 2. So, it looks like I was unsure about the future of these collections, of these libraries. The thing with the NES is when the Nintendo Switch Online went live, they would drop like one or two new NES games every month. Or I think every month. And then after a year, they dropped, or about a year, I don't know, maybe not exactly, but after a while, they dropped SNES games, but they dropped like 20 plus games all at once. So you just downloaded the SNES app from the eShop, and you had 20 plus games to just jump into right away. So I was unsure about how or if they would continue to add to the library, how that was going to work. But it looks like, I don't know if this is something they're going to do on a regular basis. But a pretty decent selection, a pretty decent update. A fair amount of games are now available. This does make me curious if we're going to see N64 games next. I wonder. It's been a while. It's been a while since, we've got new of these retro games. So I'm curious. Are we really going to get N64 games? I think we will. I know recently I talked about Doug Bowser saying that they wanted to focus on Nintendo Switch Online's distribution of retro games and not dedicated plug-and-play systems. So I definitely think we'll see more to that. I think we'll see more of these retro games available on the service, including N64. I think it'll happen. Knowing Nintendo, it'll take quite a while, but I think it'll happen nonetheless. It's something Doug Bowser said they want to focus on. They're adding new games now, so I don't think there's any reason to think that we won't get N64 in the future. Moving on. New Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Maker. New Super Mario Maker 2 has an update now available. And this is a pretty big one. So this is version 2.0.0. It's available now as of the time you're listening. And there's some new stuff added to this game. The dash block is available in Super Mario 3D World style. Gives Mario a speed burst when it is stepped upon. Frozen coins are surrounded by a block of ice, and they can only be released if they are melted. So you're going to have to use those fireballs. There's some other items that are new. The P block, Spike and Pokey. So if you hit a P switch and invisible P blocks turn into a hard platform temporarily, or vice versa. Spike cuffs up massive spike balls to launch at Mario, and Pokey is the stacked cactus from multiple Super Mario games. This is coming from Nintendo's Twitter account. But there's also another pretty big feature added. Ninja Mode. Ninja Mode is a new mode available. It presents Nintendo-made courses for you to speed through, while other players are appearing as ghosts, which I believe are kind of competing with you. So it's basically a trial to see who can clear the level the soonest. Who can clear the level the sooner or the fastest. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a racing game type thing. You have to race through the level. And in other news, Link is now in the game with a Master Sword, yada yada. No, just kidding. The big thing is Link is in Super Mario Maker 2. That's pretty cool. So you can actually find the Master Sword as a power-up in Super Mario Maker 2. This will turn Mario into Link. And then in Link form, you have access to the Master Sword, Hylian Shield, a bow and arrow, bombs, dash attack, and down thrust. This is pretty cool. The Master Sword power-up is only available in 8-bit Super Mario Maker courses. I should note, it's only available in 8-bit Super Mario Maker, or 8-bit Super Mario Bros. Courses. But this is pretty cool. This is very, very, very unexpected. And it's kind of like when we saw Link in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, right? Or in just Mario Kart 8. Like, it's such a weird thing, but at the same time, at this point, it's Nintendo. It just kind of makes sense. Um, I don't know. After we saw in Link's Awakening, you can make your own dungeons. I was kind of rooting for a Zelda maker or a dungeon maker, but I think this is kind of cooler, I guess. I don't know if a dedicated Mario or dedicated Zelda maker would work as much as Mario Maker. I don't know how much. I mean, it'd be cool to make your own Mario level or your own Zelda level or your own Zelda dungeon. But I think this is a cool way to kind of test the waters with that. And there's some. I also saw recently. I guess Demon X Machina is gonna have an update featuring The Witcher 3, which is like, what? That's super random. But these random crossovers from Nintendo are really cool. Like, some of them just don't make sense, but I like seeing these from Nintendo because it's interesting. And now I was playing a little bit last night, Super Mario Maker 2. I haven't played it in a while, so I opened up last night after the update. And playing as Link is pretty cool. It's as easy as just finding a Master Sword, you turn into Link, and you basically play through a Mario level as Link. And I'm sure very soon people are going to make Mario Maker levels that feel more like Zelda levels than anything, which I'm very excited for. I think that's gonna be really, really cool. People get really creative with Mario Maker, so I'm very excited to see what people can do with Link. But yeah, these random like crossovers, most of the time you wouldn't even think of them, right? But I think this kind of gets me excited for future Mario Maker updates. Like, imagine Samus in Mario Maker. Imagine like Animal Crossing. And okay, Animal Crossing I don't know about, but like some of these crossovers just gets me excited for other Nintendo titles, because what else will Nintendo bundle together, or what else will Nintendo, you know, like what other game character will they throw? Like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Breath of the Wild, for example. Like when they did that little event or that little update, that was pretty cool. Very random. I didn't expect that. And again, all the different like Nintendo characters that we saw in Mario Kart 8. Like, yeah, having a Nintendo cart would be really cool. Having a Nintendo Maker would be really cool. But I do think Mario is more of a household name. I think it's more of an icon. I think it's more of a system seller that can move units, and Nintendo can then just add in other characters down the road as a free update, or even behind paid DLC. I don't think Mario Maker should get paid DLC, but I don't think any game should get paid DLC, but not at least in this context. But yeah, I think it's really clever. I think it's really cool the way Nintendo can just bundle their characters together. Link and Mario are two completely different characters from two completely different franchises, yet this kind of works, and it's really cool. So yeah, I definitely love these random crossover things, these random updates, these random, like, they're just so random, and they usually don't make too much sense, but they work. They most definitely work. So the update is now available. Version 2.0.0 doesn't take that long to download, and it adds some new content, so definitely hop on that. I'll be playing that more throughout this week, along with Pokemon, and I think there's also some Smash Bros. Updates I'm definitely gonna have to look out for. I have not played Smash in a long time. I wanted to get back into doing the Smash, or the what's the board called? Whatever the little board thing is called that you go through. I've played a little bit of that, but after I unlocked all the characters, I just jumped into the online. The Spirit Board. I have not played too much of the Spirit Board. I might get back into that. Yeah, I want to play more Smash Bros. That's pretty much all the news there is this week. Quite a bit, not too much, but just enough, I'd say. And as of right now, there are no current deals on the eShop. Of course, there were some pretty good ones over the course of Black Friday. I did not get a chance to talk about those. The past like a week, 2 weeks I've really messed up my scheduling for this. I'm like, it's all over the place now. So unfortunately, I did not get a chance to talk about it. Most of the deals, I think actually were live up until yesterday. And then I think most of them ended like the 4th or 5th of December. The only game that I picked up on Black Friday or Cyber Monday for Switch is Unravel 2. I picked that up on the eShop for $5. I figured for $5, I want to play through it. That was a pretty nice. I think it's normally like $20. So for $5, I'll pick it up. I think it's a pretty short, quick little platformer. I'll probably play that in the upcoming days or week or so. But other than that, I was going to pick up a couple other games, but a lot of them were just still a little too high. I was really hoping for Dragon Quest to drop down in price. I know it's still a newer game, but I was hoping for even a $10 discount on Dragon Quest. I want a reason to pick up Dragon Quest. But I can't pay full price right now. I'm playing through too many other games right now to justify that. But as soon as I beat a couple games, I definitely want to get Dragon Quest. I was really hoping that it even like $10 it would go on sale. But nope. I was really hoping for Daemon X Machina or Astral Chain to drop down in price as well. Again, those are full price games. Not that I don't think they're worth it, but I was really hoping to see some sort of discount, even in the slightest, because I really did want to play through those games this year. I don't think I'll get a chance to. There's some pretty decent discounts as well. I was looking at Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night. I don't know if it's my cup of tea, so I skipped out on it. Ni no Kuni I wanted to pick up as well, but I did not. There's too many other games I'm playing. But I did look up this game, because I have not heard of this game. I did not hear about this game prior to it coming to Switch, but I guess it was like a PS3 or Xbox 360 game. I guess it did really well, and now it's on Switch. But I think it only went down to like 35 from 50. So I might wait it out a little bit. I'm not that eager to jump into it. Super Monkey Ball, I think, did drop like $10. And I think I did say if it was like $10 less, I would pick it up. But alas, I did not. Ori and the Blind Forest, there's a pretty decent discount on that. But I do have that on Steam. And it might be available on Game Pass as well. I'm pretty sure. It's a Microsoft game, so it should be on Game Pass as well. There were a couple other deals, like Slay the Spire was $5 off. There are quite a bit of indies that I was looking at that dropped down in price. I didn't get a chance to scoop them up. I was really hoping for Dragon Quest, so maybe sometime next year, there'll be a slight sale for Dragon Quest. I don't know if these games go down in price at all. Dragon Quest games, I don't know. I don't know if they drop down in price that much, but I'll definitely hold out for that. And like I said, I was really hoping for Daemon X Machina or Astral Chain. I did not pick those games up upon launch, so I was kind of hoping that there was a small discount for those. There were some pretty decent ones for like Zelda, Kirby, Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey, stuff like that. But nothing for some of the more recent games, which I can't say doesn't make sense. But yeah, other than that, there were some pretty decent eShop deals. Not the best, but definitely some decent ones. Like I said, I did pick up Unravel, so I'll play through that. But other than that, I'm still disappointed that games like Doom and Wolfenstein were still only half off. Feels kind of like those games are a little older now. Like, I think it should be a little more discounted, but it is what it is, I suppose. Those are deals that we've seen for a very long time now at $60 on Switch. So can't say I'm surprised. Other than that, there are some new games that are now available. Available now. First up is Assassin's Creed: The Rebel Collection. So this is actually a package with Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Rogue. It's $39.99. It's a nice little bundle if you're interested in the Assassin's Creed games. I've started Assassin's Creed. What was it? I think it was Assassin's Creed Origins on PC, and it was pretty cool. It's just, I think the newer Assassin's Creed games are like a bigger open world. And it's kind of hard to dedicate that much time to a game like that. But the newer ones definitely intrigue me more. Like Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey look pretty cool. And I want to sit down and actually play Origins. I want to give them a fair shot. Some of the older ones haven't really intrigued me in the past. Maybe I'll pick this up down the road. I know Assassin's Creed 3 is also available on Switch. Maybe I'll give those a shot. And I'll like them a little bit more now than years ago. But that's now available. That's a worthy game worth mentioning. The other game is Alien Isolation for $34.99. Alien Isolation is now on Nintendo Switch. This was a game announced earlier this year during Nintendo's E3, and there was little to no news regarding this game outside of its initial announcement. And it was kind of an interesting game to see announced for Switch. And I was kind of hoping for like a stealth Halloween drop or like dropping in October. I thought that would have been perfect. Not early December, but either way, it's here. And from what I've read and from what I've seen, the game actually looks really good. It actually looks like it's performing really well. The graphics look pretty decent. The frame rate looks stable. All of that stuff. And it is an older game. I think this was released like 5 years ago, so it really shouldn't be surprising considering it is not by any means a newer game. But still, it's a pretty interesting drop on Switch. I've played a little bit of this on PC, and it's one of those games where I think this is probably the scariest game I've played just because the Xenomorph is so realistic. Like, the AI in this game is some of the best I've seen in any horror game. It's like the AI, it's not, there are times where I feel like it's just broken. Like, it knows where I am every single move. But most of the time, it's because it's my fault. Because I'm too loud or, I'm in an area where the Xenomorph can see me. Like, it's usually my fault. But even when I'm hiding, like, there's just so much adrenaline and suspense and tension. The Xenomorph is great in this game. I never finished it on Steam. I could not bring myself to finish it. It was too scary. It really was. Like, the Xenomorph it's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying. So, yeah, I think I played the first maybe like 10 hours of the game. I'm not sure how long the game is. It's $34.99 on Switch. So it might be worth picking up if you enjoy horror games. I liked it on PC. Not enough to like finish it because it was too much. It was really too scary for me, to be honest. I even like turned down the difficulty to the easiest, and it was still like crazy difficult walking around the Xenomorph because it knows where you are every step. Like, there are times where it just feels broken, but like I said, at the same time, it just feels smart. So really good game. It is 17.7 gigabytes, in case you are interested. So it's a hefty download, but that's now available on Switch. So there you go. Other than that, what I've been playing is, of course, Pokemon. I'm still playing a lot of Pokemon. I know I already talked about it, but I've also gotten back into Super Mario Maker 2. Definitely checking out that update. All the new stuff added to it. I jumped back into The Witcher 3 as well. I got into an area where I'm pretty sure I'm stuck because of a glitch. There's this item that I need to interact with, but a character is standing in the way, and they will not move, and I cannot interact with said object to progress the mission. So I'm gonna have to like figure that out because I can't find a save that isn't like way before entering that room. I don't know what I'm doing, but The Witcher 3 still a lot of fun on Switch. Other than that, just playing a lot of Pokemon, doing a lot of breeding, shiny hunting, etc., etc. And I think that's pretty much it this week. I think I covered everything. That's pretty much it. I'm trying to think, but I think that's everything I wanted to discuss this week. So I think what I'll do next week, let me actually see. I think next week, what I might actually do is, I don't know if it'll be like an official list or just me rambling on, but at some point within the next week or two, I definitely want to put a list together of some of the best Switch games of the year. And then I think the week after that, or maybe in the same episode, I'll do them together. I definitely want to do a year in review for the Nintendo Switch. 2019 has been a pretty good year, and I kind of want to go over everything that happened this year, so that'll definitely be within the next week or two. As for this week, that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. As always, thank you for listening. I appreciate any and all support. I really do. Thank you for listening. With that being said, have yourselves a great rest of the day, and I will see you in the next one.